And hello, live long and prosper, and it's Star Trek time. And thank you, everybody that watched the last video, because it's been a long time since I've been on talking Star Trek. So I figured y'all forgot about me. I'm not one of those big, channels, but I get a nice number of views on some of my videos, so it's kind of cool to see some of you come back. And I'm really excited to talk about Star Trek Discovery Season 4 because, as I put in the description of the video, has Star Trek Discovery kind of grown up? Has it learned how to do drama correctly? Because Episode 2, Anomaly, which we're going to review today, really seems to be hitting the right notes. But before we watch the video, try to make it short. I'm doing my best to keep these short. I talk a lot. Um, Please like, please subscribe, please share. I'm not making any money off of this, so labor of love. I love sharing all my Star Trek love with all of you. And comment below, tell me what you thought of this episode 2, Anomaly. I thought it was pretty damn great. And one thing I kind of want to say just right off the bat, I guess. It's this. It's the fact that I'm glad Paramount got its crap together, its shit together. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna fake it like I don't curse on this channel, guys. I curse on this channel. If that offends you, don't watch my videos. But thank you, Paramount, for getting your shit together. I'm putting these videos out Friday or after, out of respect for the international crowd who cannot see Star Trek Discovery. So I think it's out on Pluto TV, but it's at a set time. It's not on demand like with Paramount. How stupid can you be? But one thing that this does prove, due to the outrage with this, is that all these idiots that, we kind of knew they were idiots from the beginning. The Doomcocks of the world, the nerdrotic, whatever it was. There was like that little girl with the red hair that I saw one of her videos where she said she thought that the production of Star Trek Discovery was like watching her videos and making videos based. I don't know. I didn't even want to talk about them. But how wrong were these people, right? Who said that Star Trek Discovery was going to be canceled, I don't know, midway through season 1. And instead, we got a season 4 of Discovery and enough fans to make Paramount get its act together like within a week, because they were that upset that Star Trek Discovery was not on in international markets. So yes, Star Trek Discovery is a hit. Star Trek Discovery put Star Trek back in people's minds. Star Trek Discovery launched, what is it? One, because it's Picard, Lower Decks, Prodigy, 3 new shows that are on right now, soon to be 4 with Strange New Worlds. They keep saying this Section 31 is coming at some point. I tend to believe them more than these naysayers. And what else could be coming around the bend? Am I missing one? I think so. That's like 5 different Star Trek shows. And we got Star Trek Discovery that looks like it's going strong. I hope we get 7 strong seasons because they're so short. Maybe they'll give us 10. That would be really nice. 10 seasons of Star Trek Discovery would be a nice round number. But I just want to say, yes, Trekkies, yes, we are supporting this show. It has its faults, but it's growing into itself, as most Star Trek shows do. Go watch season 1 of Star Trek TNG and tell me that's classic Star Trek. No, these shows grow into itself. But let's get to it, guys, because I really like this episode. And I'll give you my hot take on what I liked about it, just quickly, is that it was dramatic, but it let us, the audience, feel the emotions instead of, yes, I'm going to say it, watching Burnham cry, for the 100th time. It just got silly in season 3. I don't mind people crying, and I get slack for this, and many of us fans get slack for this. It's not that we don't want to see somebody cry. It's perfectly okay to see somebody cry. But go back and watch season 3, folks. It was like a succession of at least 3 or 4 episodes, maybe more, where Burnham was crying so much that it looked like she actually had like a tear uh, mark on her face, like it created like a what do you call it? Like a ridge on her face. It got to be silly, okay? And the writers could have done a better job at explaining that perhaps, hey, it's the fact that she's going from emotionless Vulcan, quote unquote, to dealing with her human emotions, and that's intense. Hey, look at what Spock did in Star Trek. What was it? 2009, was it, where he saw his planet blow up and he tried to act like it was all cool, and he was emotionally compromised. I thought that was a cool scene, uh, because he let out all that rage. Of course, if you're holding in so much emotion for so long, when it comes out, it's going to come out all insane. Put that into the script. They didn't, or at least not sufficiently enough for me. And then I can kind of deal with the fact that Burnham's crying all the time. So I like that in this episode she did not cry. Booker cried, which was really nice, and she actually held her tears in. So that was cool. I think maybe the writers were listening to the fan backlash. It's like, guys, we have no problem with Burnham crying. She's human. She's a full rounded character. This is awesome. But it's Starfleet. It's Starfleet. You gotta suck it up. There's no crying in baseball. There's no crying in Starfleet. At least not out in the open every other episode. So, and also for me, that makes it feel as if the writers are, I hate movies or shows where it's like you can tell that the writers say, here's your cue to cry, folks, or here's your emotional cue, and the music's gonna swell up, and you're like, oh my god. I mean, just let it happen naturally. Let me be so invested in the characters and what they're going through that even if they're not crying, I'm crying or I'm getting emotional. But like, like Worf episodes, I always cry on Klingon episodes, not just Worf, but the one where he's with his parents. uh Such an emotional episode for me because I'm adopted, and so I really relate to it. And there's no emotion for Morph at all, but that's what makes you cry. That's what makes you feel so much in that episode. The writers aren't throwing it in your face. So Star Trek Discovery seemed to, the writers of this episode, at least, let's hope it's a trend that continues, because season 3 started out pretty strong and then it got mega melodramatic towards the end, which I didn't like that much. I didn't like the end of season 3 as much as the first half. So hopefully they'll maintain this level of writing throughout the season, which is, let us just invest in what these characters are going through, whether they show the correct emotion or not, whether they show, or what we would consider the correct emotion or not. Let them just breathe. And that's what this episode did. Basically, they find out about this anomaly, destroyed Booker's planet last episode. So they're trying to get readings. So they are able to find out where this gravitational anomaly is. And the plan is to send Discovery there, send Booker's ship inside the anomaly, because it's got that shape-shifting technology, so it can withstand the bangs of being in there. And that's it. Very simple premise. It's just that within all of that, it's Booker that goes in. Our friend Burnham doesn't want him to go in because he is emotionally compromised, but he says, I'm the best person to do this because I know how to fly the ship. And he really wants to figure this out. He's in there with Stamets. Stamets got the whole hologram thing going. And that's basically the episode. Simple premise, but then all the interactions that happen in between that, I think, are great. And it's what I wondered if Star Trek Discovery was ever going to be able to do. I don't know about you, but I love going on YouTube and just putting best of Guinan or best of Garrick or best of whatever, Data, and Picard. And what do you have? You just have these 2-minute scenes of two characters just talking, and their conversation is what makes that scene classic. It doesn't have to be it's not the action of the episode. Of course, Star Trek, it's an adventure show on some level, but it's also a show about relationships, about people dealing with each other. And then let's have these strange combinations like Quark and Odo. That's a great episode when they're going on this little mini mission together in DS9, and they're in the little runabout. And you can go on YouTube, watch those scenes. It's just the fact that these two characters are so far apart and they have to be stuck together. And Star Trek's always done that so well, is being able to, let's mix this character with this character, put them in a situation and see how they relate to each other, see how they figure each other out. Star Trek Discovery so far has not been able to do that well. It managed it wonderfully with, and I might as well just flip to the next slide, Saru, because Saru's back this episode. Thank God. I mean, who doesn't love Saru? Probably my favorite character in the whole series. Yeah, he's just amazing. Doug Jones is just amazing as Saru. So glad that he's actually back, because I was worried about it when he decided to leave at the end of season 3. I was like, oh no, are we only going to get half and half Saru, half the season Saru? I need him there all the time. And he's back on the ship because last episode he said, hey, my eyes are still out in the stars, so he really needed to be back on the ship. And what I was gonna say is that Burnham and Saru, those are the times Burnham shines, the character. And I have not kept it a secret. For me, Burnham is the weakest link as far as the characters on this show. If I just go down the list of characters that I really love and I really get invested in, that are the main characters, obviously, she's the least interesting for me. But they've gotten better at writing her. Season 3 was a definite upgrade. In season 4, I mean, she's really slid into this captain role really well. She's doing a really good job at being compassionate, delegating. Okay, I think she learned a lot from last episode. She's delegating a little bit better. This episode, she delegated really well, knowing that, hey, I don't have to go down on the and fight the bad guys all the time. And I love that. And so hopefully we just keep getting Saniqua. I mean, and she's growing into the character as it usually happens. I mean, I always say this too. Aside from Star Trek, the original series, which just seemed like, man, they knew what they were going for right from season 1. I mean, aside from the first maybe 3-4 episodes, the characters are just so what they would remain for the rest of what Star Trek is, the original series characters. But all the other Star Treks, TNG, Voyager, DS9, it took 2 to 3 seasons before all those characters really knew, the actors kind of knew where to take the characters. Season 1 and 2, Picard is an asshole. I mean, only after season 3, 4, definitely 5 and beyond is where we get that fatherly diplomatic figure. Janeway is grating as hell, until we get to season 3 or so. And Cisco's a mess. He's great, but a bit of a mess until he shaves that hair, gets that goatee, and becomes the baddest captain ever. So, hey, Saniqua, you're doing a good job, girl. It's not hate from me. I will, despite the fact that I wasn't a big fan of you on The Walking Dead, but you're growing into this character. And Saru brings out the best in you. But Saru brings out the best in everybody. His scenes with Tilly were great. I mean, you put Saru with anybody, and Doug is just gonna uplift all the characters. And this episode was all about the characters and some of those secondary characters actually having lines, important lines, doing something. I don't know if Star Trek Discovery is ever going to be that show that is going to show Detmer and see, I should know her name by now. It's been 4 seasons. Oya Washinu, whatever her name is. See, I'm not even going to look it up. It's just to show you how, Star Trek Discovery needs to work on this. But, a moment with them just going on an away mission or doing something together. I mean, Detmer's had a little bit more to do, and they had a little bit more action at the end of season 3. But I want to spend some time with these characters. I wonder if Star Trek Discovery is going to be able to do that. I don't think so because Star Trek Discovery is all about this big, huge problem. Last season was the burn. Season 2 was the Red Angel. Season 1 is the Klingon War. This is the gravitational anomaly. We don't have time to breathe when we have that much stuff going on. We do not have time to breathe unless they figure out the anomaly, by mid-season. That would be kind of cool. And then we have an end of season where they get to just explore a little bit. But I don't think Star Trek Discovery is about that. And that's fine. I like my Star Trek Discovery the way it is. It just, unfortunately, take the good with the bad. The good is that, wow, it's so epic. Every Star Trek Discovery season is just going to be epic. Wow. But the bad, when you have that, is that you just don't get moments with other characters, quiet moments where they're just enjoying something. But anyway, I'm proud. I'm proud of Burnham though for not crying. Okay, and kind of being strong for Book because Book is just going through it, man. My boy Book is just going through it. Another character I want to bring up that they're trying to do something with. Not sure. I enjoy this character that much, which is Gray. Uh, I'm not sure what she's going to bring to the show when she becomes visible to everybody. I mean, she just seems like a good support for Adira, which I love. Adira's so cute. Oh my god. But Gray, I don't know. I mean, kind of sal, as they say here in Portuguese. It doesn't have any spice to this character. I don't really get Gray at the moment and what she's about. Or is it he? I forgot now. Forgive me. I know Adira is them. But what I did like is that there was a little bit of an Easter egg with, again, Mr. Doomcox and Nerdonics of the world. We are in the prime timeline, okay? And they just confirmed it once again by bringing up Picard, and last season Picard got into a synth body. That's what they're going to use to bring Gray into the real world by building Gray. I'm going to say Gray because I forgot if it's a he or a she. I forgot their pronouns, so forgive me. By building Gray a synth body, which is cool. That part is cool because we get to say, hey, we're in the same universe. I mean, we got the Voyager link again, which is really cool. We got the Archer space dock. That's another Easter egg. But again, the conspiracy folks will say, oh yeah, but that could be the Kelvin Universe Archer or the Kelvin Universe Voyager. Well, this ain't the Kelvin Universe Picard, okay? I mean, that would be kind of crazy if everything went down to that small detail. And also, Navarre is there. Vulcan is there, okay? In the Kelvin Universe, Vulcan is gone. So Vulcan is there. So how could it be in the Kelvin Universe? No, this is prime canon Star Trek, okay? As if that needed to be said still in season 4 of Star Trek Discovery. But I don't know, guys. Tell me, what do you think of Gray? I don't think Gray is a character that interests me that much. So she's actually gone below Burnham. Burnham's going up a few notches in season 3. Maybe she's my 4th. Saru, Giorgio's not on the show anymore, so get her out of there. Saru, Stamets. I'm really loving Colbert this season, being like Mr. Counselor. He's everywhere. He's so cute. Oh my God, Colbert's so cute. And I mean that. Well, he's an attractive man, but I'm just saying his energy, just that positive vibe energy, so cute. So he's quickly turning into one of my favorites this season. They've toned down Tilly, so she's been bumped up to maybe fourth place because she was too silly, man, too silly. I mean, you're a Starfleet officer. Get your shit together, Tilly. Um, I know you're nervous and blah blah blah, but that's cool to show too, like with Barkley and characters like that. But you're still Starfleet. Get your shit together, girl. And it's cool that they're showing how she's going through some grief and maybe some depression, which is really cool. They hinted at that at the end of this episode. Adira's a sweetheart. Oh my god, I love Adira so much. I think I said Stamets, Jet Reno. Oh my god, I guess Burnham's in seventh place. That's terrible. Oh no, Booker. I like Booker even before Burnham. I'm so sorry, Burnham fans. She's good. She's good. I mean, it's not like she's seventh, like all the way down there. Like she was for me around season one. She's just within the mix. Of very, very tight characters. She's like in seventh. Maybe my top three are very far ahead, and then everybody else is kind of in a tight race for fourth place. Um, I did like the scenes with Stamets and Booker. Okay, that goes back into what Star Trek is so good at, which is putting characters that don't normally interact together and letting them interact. So it was very cool. They had an emotional moment together at the end where Stamets kind of opened himself up to Booker to let him know he appreciates him. Booker, maybe not become best friends, but Booker letting him know that he appreciates him. And all those scenes on that ship were kind of interesting because he was going through some heavy PTSD, something that Star Trek has not been so good at doing in the past, except for DS9. But even DS9 didn't do it so much because although it was serialized, but it wasn't to the level of how TV is today serialized, where next episode is literally tomorrow. In DS9, next episode followed what came before, but maybe 2 weeks later or a month later. And the other shows were all reset button. So we never got to see what effect all this crazy stuff would have on these characters. It's just the way TV was back then. I mean, what can you do? So here we're actually seeing what Booker's going through. And it's not cool. It's not cool, guys. It's terrible. But such a great acting with Booker. And Sonique, you did such a wonderful job just being supportive for him. I love the scene where she's on the bridge and, they're inside the gravitational force. Discovery's outside this gravitational anomaly. And they had to untether each other, because they were tethered together, but the ship's Discovery's getting all banged about and losing shield, so they got to let go. And so our friend Booker is inside the gravitational wave, whatever anomaly. How does he get out? He needs to ride a wave out. And he's lost. He's lost in his memories. He's seeing his little nephew. He's going through grief, like heavy grief, PTSD. And then Saru's goes to Michael and says, look, I think it's time to take off your captain hat and put on your partner hat. It was so cool. They have this little force field, like open a private channel. Although I'm wondering if Stamets can hear everything that's going on when she's talking a book. But she talks to him heart to heart. Look, I need you to focus. I need you to get the fuck out of here. Okay? I need your ass. I need your hot, sexy black ass back on Discovery. She didn't say that exactly. But, Booker got back into action and rode that wave out of there. And she did such a great job, just being supportive, not crying, okay? Not crying. And letting him cry, letting him feel, and letting us feel, guys. I think that was the strongest aspect of this episode We, the audience, got to feel. We got to make the decision of, is this an emotional scene or not? Is this an upsetting scene or not? Give us, the audience, that choice, writers of Star Trek Discovery. You did it this episode, so you have shown that you're capable of it. Continue to do it. Okay? Now, one criticism I heard, and it's valid, is, man, are we going to be this heavy handed all season? I hope not. We do need some levity. Where's Miss Reno? Where's my Jet Reno? Okay? We need some levity. We need a little bit of comic relief, but there are zero comic relief characters on this. I mean, Stamets used to kind of be, but he's gone into like dad mode, insecure about whether he's a good dad or not. And this is like, he's not as snarky as he used to be. I don't know what happened to Stamets. He used to be great on that tip, because you got a lot of comic relief from him, but he's just not that anymore. I don't know what happened. The death of his partner and almost dying, and yeah, a lot of stuff happened to him, so that makes sense. He's humbled a bit, but we need some comic relief somewhere. It's very heavy-handed. Anyway, I give this episode nice. Oh, almost before we go, look at that. Okay, that's the gravitational anomaly from afar. There was a zoom out, and it kind of looked like an eye. I don't know. There are some theories out there that this is a living being. They did figure out, after all the work they did to try to figure out which way this thing is moving, that we can't figure out which way it's moving because it just decided to go on its own path. So is it a sentient being? I don't know. It's the great mystery. Always when you get these great mysteries, like with the burn, oh my god, what a letdown! What the burn was. It was just, you know, a depressed Kelpian. Ugh, that was a letdown. Okay, I like the whole storyline with the Orions, or is that what they call them, the green aliens? That was cool. But the whole Kelpian storyline, that was, oh my god, that was really bad. So unfortunately, yes, and also even with the Red Angel, was a bit of a letdown because I was so hoping it was not Michael. I was like, it's not Michael. It's not going to be Michael. Come on, it can't all be Michael. Can't all be Michael. And yes, it was Michael in the end, who was a Red Angel. Um, and yeah, I guess if you go back to season one, that was kind of a crappy end to the Klingon War too. It built up so well, and then it was kind of, the last episode was not great. So Star Trek Discovery's track record, probably season two was the best out of them because it did include that whole going into the future thing, but it doesn't have the best track record as far as explaining what these great big mysteries are. So, oh my god, I just hope it's not, some alien who is just hungry or something, and then they have to mind meld with it. I don't know. Hope it's something interesting. Oh, and Zora got a call out. For those that watch Calypso. So who knows? That would be interesting if whatever happened in season four leads to directly to Calypso. But then I guess the show would be over. I don't know. Who knows? The future is wide open, right? There's Discovery is writing canon right now for whatever Star Trek is going to be in the far future. So, kind of crazy to think that maybe this anomaly does destroy most of space, which is insane because it just came off the burn, and now we're getting double burn. But I will say this: I'm more interested in this than the burn because the burn was just done. I mean, it's just okay. The Federation's gone. The quadrant's kind of boring. You can't move around that fast. You got the Orions kind of controlling stuff, and it was interesting, but it was like status quo. This is the new status quo. Space is boring again. You know, uh, Whereas here, space is not boring anymore. Ships can travel, and we can have connections between these different civilizations. But we got this thing going on. Me and gravitational anomaly. We got a thing going on, and it's happening at the moment. So that's kind of cool. I'm more invested in what's going on here. Hopefully, it'll be cool. You know, what can we do? All right, folks. That's it. 30 minutes. I'm done. Live long and prosper. Love you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave comments below.